welcome to Kobe's Reviews. You suggested I review it. And welcome back to the Friday the 13th franchise review. Unfortunately, today we gotta look at the 10th film in this series with Jason X from 2002.
In the year 2455, on a routine training mission, a team of students is about to discover a life form frozen in time.
They're on their way back. We paid for Donkey and Pound the lab.
You brought him on board?
Everything's under control, man.
What the hell is going on?
Jason Voorhees, that's what's going on. He's an unstoppable killing machine.
Guys, it's okay. He just wanted his machete back.
How do we get off the ship?
I don't know. Look, we're gonna be all right.
What? Are you high? He's here. You have got to get them out of there.
Hey, Slappy.
I think we're finally okay. What the hell is that? You've got to be kidding me.
Oh, wow.
He's been modified. Oh, you think? You guys might want to run.
So Jason X was released in 2002, and it was probably one of the worst movies in the series. Why is that? Well, let's see. So basically, the film has Jason at a research facility in Crystal Lake, and no, we did absolutely get no explanation on how the hell he got out of hell. Anyway, because basically the government has tried to kill Jason multiple times, but nothing works. Well, duh, nothing works. Anyway, they hang him, gas him, shock him, burn him, drown him, but nothing works. So they decide to cryogenically freeze the SOB, but unfortunately this doesn't work out as a group of greedy scientists want to take Jason to experiment on him, because now Jason has the ability to regenerate. Yeah, regenerate. So what, he's like Wolverine now? Wow, so does Jason have any other superpowers you'd like to tell us about, movie? Anyway, eventually Jason escapes, kills all the soldiers, because that's what he does, and the scientist chick named Rennie lures Jason into the cryogenic chamber, stacks him in there, stops it, but Jason stabs her through this chamber, leaving a crack, resulting in both of them being frozen for about a long time. And then skip ahead to the future, where Rennie's body is taken to where a bunch of scientists find Rennie's body and Jason's body, and, okay, bringing back Rennie to their spaceship makes sense. They're going to revive her, obviously, but for some reason, they decide to bring Jason with them. Because, yeah, if I saw a behemoth man wearing a hockey mask with a machete, I think, let's bring this guy in our spaceship. What's the worst that could happen? Ugh. Well, anyway, while they're bringing Rennie back to life, one of the scientists is doing an experiment on Jason, and apparently two of the scientists are getting turned on by the thawing corpse on the table. Ew. And the blonde scientist tells him to fuck off, and they end up having sex. Jason senses that shit, and it brings him back to life. Really? Now, we've gotten a lot of reasons for why Jason has come back to life in the past. My favorite being when he got electrocuted in Part 6, but he wakes up because he hears two teens having sex? Like, what? Well, anyway, with a spaceship full of victims, Jason's free to do his murder thing, and, well, his thing is pretty fine, I guess. For what it is, this film has some pretty creative kills, and they take advantage of the fact this film takes place in the future. But that's literally it. The whole point of this film is just to show off the set and the effects they have, and the set's fine for a Star Trek film or or like another sci-fi movie, but why did it have to be a Friday the 13th movie? Apparently, Freddy vs. Jason was in production, and both this and Wes Craven's New Nightmare were made to keep both Freddy and Jason relevant until the film came out. And if you're wondering, well, why did they make a Friday movie where Jason was in the future and in outer space? Well, apparently the director wanted to do this so that any events that happened in Freddy vs. Jason would have to be connected, because this film takes place in the future. I guess that's a good reason, but I'm sorry, it doesn't help for this film at all. Especially since all the characters are so fucking dumb. Except for Rennie, who was obviously the one with the level head, saying that bringing Jason on this ship was a stupid idea. But of course, the main scientist who's leading these people is a greedy bastard and wants to sell Jason because he's valuable, I guess. He gets what's coming to him eventually, and Jason pretty much kills half the crew members on this ship. There's a really good scene where two characters are playing a simulator, and Jason kills them both in the game and again in real life, and the both of them in real life too. I guess that's one way to pad out the body count. But the kicker came near the end of the movie when KM, this android girl, is given an upgrade that makes her able to fight Jason. So she fights him, blows his head off, and at first think, well, that's that, I guess. Well, no. I forgot to mention they have little robotic androids on this boat. On this ship, I mean. Sorry. We're on a ship again this time. It's in space. Anyway, and they rebuild Jason and turn him into a cyborg. This was the point that a lot of people rage quitted, as they took the classic Jason with the new robotic cyber Jason, or Uber Jason as this version is called. This version of Jason was so hated and so despised that a Jason vs. Jason X comic was published, and everybody who bought it in the hopes that the old Jason would kill the new one. That didn't happen anyway. Anyway, the point is, wrapping up, which really I need to because I can't do this. Well, what happens is that they try to wait for rescue, but they have to keep Jason distracted. So they put him in a fake crystal lake with some counselors for him to murder, and they only spawn 2. And he makes short of them, obviously, and is on his way back. Yeah, you only made 2. Make a bunch of them. It'll take forever for him to get through them all. But then they blow up a section of the ship with Jason still in it, but he's floating towards them from the explosion. And then one of the Marines grabs Jason, and both of them get plummeted down to Earth. The final shot of the film is this couple on Earth 2, yeah, Earth 2, seeing something landing in the water, and that happens to be Uber Jason's singed hockey mask. Well, I guess that's one way to end the movie. I guess that's one way to end your film. This movie sucks. It's probably one of the worst Friday the 13th movies I've ever seen. That's up there with Jason Takes Manhattan. Just try saying that concept without thinking it's stupid. Jason Voorhees in outer space. You can't. Well, thankfully the next film we're going to look at will not only be my final video for this franchise review, but it's actually a more superior film than this. Well, until then, go with the reviewer, and have a good night, folks.